What's cracking? What's rolling, YouTube? It's your Loke Phantom Loke, aka Silk the Lokester, and this is keeping it 3100.
I see you folks clicking up, looking like you tough, acting like you baby now, nigga. Walk around with that flag out your pocket until the real come and asks what you claiming now, nigga. 1, 2, 3, oh shots from a loose cannon and it's blazing through your torso, nigga. 1, 2, 3, oh shots from a loose cannon and it's blazing through your doors now, nigga.
Yeah, nigga, that Loke is back. Come to your section, them shells rat-a-tat-tat. Cause what you banging, what you claim, you know what's up. If a person know, got that dagger exposing your fucking guts. Yeah, that blue been in me. Free my big cousin, cuz like me. Our gang's different, but we both bleed blue. Heart pump, no Kool-Aid, them shots come through. I stay true blue, been true to that blue. Been true to the cause, so what about you?
For all those new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. For everybody else, let's get into it. Now, today's topic. This is the second crip that came across my table that apparently they saying, well, actually, this is actually coming out of the horse's mouth now from himself. He's changing and all that. Basically he's I guess in my visual, like the way I see it and all that stuff, I guess you say he's retiring, but yeah, cartoon from 5 Trey Avalon.
Well, I'm too old. I don't want to do this no more. No, we don't have that option. We doing this for life. Now, we might not be in the streets doing it how we did it when we was 15, but we gonna always be Crips and we gonna always be from the set that we from.
So yeah, there's really no Crip retirement out here in LA.
Not in Los Angeles.
Now, basically, he's on his religious path. Now, I'm just say this. At his age, Big U's age, hell, I even know some G homies from my set, you know, that are on a different path and, you know, living the word to God and all, you know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of us gotta live in the name of God and all, you know, because when we die, we don't know where we're gonna go. And depending on how we lived our lives and all, you know, when Judgment Day comes, yeah. But basically they're on their religious path and all that, but at the end of the day though, that's still not gonna take away who and what they are. Now, like that video clip I just played, you know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, I'll give you a good example with me. I'm a Muslim. You know, I live in the, like, religion-wise and all, I live through the name of Islam. All right? But the way I live my life, my lifestyle, and, you know, what I identify myself as, what people see me as and all that, you know, is a Crip. But I am a Muslim as well. Me, I personally do the 5 pillars of Islam. You know, if you know what they are, you know what they are. And I'm not going to tell y'all what they are if you don't know, because that's how that bandwagon thing back in 2011, all that happened and all. Weird ass shit, especially in the DMV. But anyway, 5 pillars of Islam, yeah, I do. But all that other extra stuff, you know what I'm saying, that deep religious stuff and all that, that's what my mom does, but I don't do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, they say for marriage, your spouse has to convert to a Muslim in order to marry and all that. I don't agree with that. If you love somebody, you love somebody. It doesn't matter what religion, what color, what race, you know what I'm saying? If you love them, you love them. And then something about dogs can't live. I don't believe in that, because I went to Morocco one time, not too long, like a couple years ago, and I seen Muslims owning dogs as pets. I'm not talking about them small little Chihuahua dogs. I'm talking about like regular sized dogs, like pit bulls, you know what I'm saying, Rottweilers, German Shepherds, you know what I'm saying, and some of them actually live in the house and all that. So me personally, I ain't trying to hear none of that, you know. That's me. But anyway, back to the topic. Cartoon from 5 Trey Avalon basically is retiring, and he's basically going to live 100% through the name of God. Now, at his age, you know what I'm saying, his status and all that stuff, you can do that. You know, that's what you call honorable, you know, diplomacy or something like that, diplomat or something like that. Mafia Crip homie, you know what I'm saying, told me what that's called and all, but yeah, you can do that once you get to that certain point, you know. But other than that, this is something that you take with you to the day you die. This right here, or whatever flag you under, or whatever you pledge your allegiance to, whatever, you know what I'm saying, that's what you are to the day you die. That's still not going to go away from the books. That's still not going to go away from the police records and all that. You know what I'm saying? Hell, it's just not going to go away. That's what everybody's going to know you as and see you as. And which goes back to what I was saying. There's no such thing as dropping flags, you know. But once you get to that certain age, I'm talking about cartoons age, you know, and all that. Yeah, you know, I mean, but when you was young as me, 31 or younger, hell, even a little bit older, in your 40s, even crazy thing is, even in your 50s and all that stuff, it's still, you know what I'm saying, because like I said, you come across your enemies, or you come across niggas you did something to and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying, you think they're going to just forgive and forget? Hell no. Especially if it was some traumatizing shit to them. Hell no. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until one of y'all is dead. Or one of y'all gets y'all, you know, retaliation. It's never going to stop. You know? There's absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, that's what you're supposed to do. Live in the name of God and do what God wants you to do and all that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're supposed to do. But what I'm saying is, if you're a Crip, Blood, Piru, Hoover, etc., and all that stuff, you know, and you're not at that certain point to where you can retire, if you choose to do that, it's non-stop till the casket drop. You can live your religion if you want to. You can do all that stuff, you know, but it don't stop till the casket drop. And like me personally, you know what I'm saying, I'm taking this cripping and my religious faith as a Muslim to the grave. I'm taking them both to the grave. Someone once asked me at work, how are you a Muslim and a Crip? Well, first of all, this is someone that's a whole civilian, but he been in the streets and all that. You know, he been around from Vegas. And, yeah, he just didn't understand because those two ideologies don't really mix. Well, they're not supposed to. I, as the person in the middle, separate the two. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, as much as people don't really, like, understand and all that stuff, it's really simple. You just separate the two, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I do my, like me, like I said, I do my 5 pillars and all that, but other than that, I live my lifestyle as a Crip. But Mom, on the other hand, you know what I'm saying, she lives her whole entire life as a traditional Islamic woman from the lands where it came from. And she tried putting that on me too when I was a kid and all that, you know. I was just a little kid, but I didn't know shit for shit. But a lot of the stuff didn't really like it aligned, but most of the stuff I didn't really understood, or it didn't align, or I didn't like, you know what I'm saying, understood or anything like that. But anyway, so first they talking about Big U, but you know that didn't come from the horse's mouth. You know, this homies, or should I say 60s and all that, you know, 60 homies. That's saying that's not true. And to be honest with you, that's really 60s politics. And, you know, they got what they got going on and all that. So I just leave that to them. I made a video about that, but that's just her reaction and all. But that's really their politics. Only they know the truth. Cartoon 5 Trey, he said it out the horse's mouth. He even said he's going to change his YouTube podcast name and all that. So salute to Cartoon 5 Trey, you know what I'm saying? Even though my set and his set, you know what I'm saying, they got whatever they got going on, but at the end of the day, that's his choice, that's his personal choice and all that. And I ain't gonna lie, when I saw that video, I'm gonna post the link of the video that I'm talking about at the bottom, but he even talks and sound different, you know, he even kind of looks different. But anyway, yeah, salute to Cuz and all that, but if you're not in the same position as him, or if you're not like Tookie, may he CIP, Raymond Washington, may he CIP, or any of them OGs and all that, you know, it's definitely nonstop to the casket drop. I believe in Allah. I love Allah, you know. I live, you know, as best as I can, the way, you know, he wants me to, in terms of doing right, you know what I'm saying, doing good, putting positivity in the world and all, and, you know, being peaceful. And that's really what I've been working on lately ever since my dog passed away in May. It really hit me with that. It really hit me really hard there. It put me in a... First I crashed out, of course. But after the homies and G homies, you know, had to let me know how I'm conducting myself and all that is, you know, I had to straighten myself out. And ever since then, I just been on a very mellow, laid back, chill type of mode and all that, and just trying to do what I can as a man first, then a crip, then a crip. And building a life outside of the lifestyle that I know and live and love, you know. I remember when I used to watch Gangland and all that, there was one episode that has to do with the Crips. And I think his name is Lil Rick from Payback. He said, you could be against violence and all that other stuff, but you could still be a Crip. He denounced the killings, he denounced the bullshit, he denounced the negativity, the negative energy and all that, but other than that, he loves Crip and he's a Crip. Honestly, in due time, like later on in life, that's basically how I see myself as, for real. You know, once I have the things that I want and pray and manifest the life I want outside of this lifestyle. Once I have that, that's how I'm gonna live my life. I'm still be what I am, religion wise, and my culture and my flag and all that. That's not me. That's not gonna stop until the day I die. Don't matter. But I'm not gonna be on some bullshit, and I'm not gonna preach on some bullshit. And on top of that, you know, I'm just gonna stay away from the negative energy, the bullshit, and all that wildness, you know. And you also get to a certain point in age and all where you really just leave all that extra out stuff and all that to the infant lokes, as we call them. And basically niggas that's like it, that just started out, niggas that's in high school or elementary, niggas that you know what I'm saying, as a tiny loke like myself. It can go either way depending on what kind of time you're on and individual and all that other stuff. But you know, tiny lokes, us tiny lokes always up to no good, as they say. So, but me specifically, it all depends on what type of energy is being brought to me, or if there's some unfinished business or any of that stuff. But other than that, nowadays I just be out the way and just manifesting the life that I want outside of this. But yeah, it ain't no problem when you reach cartoons age and status and all that, you know what I'm saying? Or should I say, or status. Because, you know, you have a lot of G homies that have been putting in that work for a very long time when they were younger. To the point where they can do that. Or if they did a bid or something like that. And whatever happened behind there, this, that, and third, or whatever. But my thing is this: is these type of niggas that I can't stand.
People be too scared to say this. This man was banging. What you was banging?
I was blood.
He was blood.
Drop my flag.
And he dropped his flag. People be scared to say that. And I ain't talking bad about nobody when I say that, but it's possible, you heard me? You gonna humble yourself under a gang, you got life twisted. You really need to be humbling yourself under what? Under the Most High, under God, man. I think a lot of people be spooked that they can't do it, right? They feel like, oh, if I drop my flag, I'm gonna get in trouble or something. Is that what it be?
And sometimes it just be, it's what gives them, I guess, whatever character
Identity.
they have, you feel me? So it's like becoming somebody new.
So they found their identity in a color, in a gang.
That's why you could be 40 years old and that's the only thing you really repping. Because that's the only thing that gives you purpose out there.
Oh, they 60 years old now.
Yeah.
You heard me doing it. Like,
nobody knows you for nothing else except being a member. So that's why they hold on to that so much.
like I said, the only thing we all supposed to humble ourselves under is the Most High. That's God. You hear me? Man, I salute you, brother. This is the third time I'm dapping y'all. Don't get tired of these daps because I just love it, bro. Yes, bro. We need more people to see that, dog. That's how we change the world. It takes courage to do this, bro. And people think it takes courage to like pick a gun up and go bust on somebody. Man, that don't take courage. That's just being a robot to what the system is telling you to do, man. Exactly. This take courage, man.
Man, I'm a real gangster, and you know right where to find me. Gangsta, do not try.
That's the shit I'm talking about right there. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Damu was speaking some truth there and all that shit, and I'm just gonna say this. You know, my life been with God and all that. My life been with Allah, and you know, I live by His word and all that. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna die as a damn crip, along with my religion. You know what I'm saying? But all that dropping flag shit that they talking about and all that shit, that's some bullshit. And that song at the end and all that they were playing on all that, that's some bullshit. Because if you're a real gangster, you're going to stand on your shit until the day you fucking die. You talk about you drop your flag. So you basically just dropped on whatever the fuck you stand for. 10 toes down and all that. But you didn't stand 10 toes down. You dropped your shit. So that song does not resonate with you, nigga. To be honest with you, that's some bust ass shit. I wonder what your set would think about you. You're not supposed to think what everybody thinks about you, this, that, and third, but all I'm going to say is this. You, that nigga right there, you know what I'm saying? It's niggas like that, I feel like they just trying to ease their way out or this, that, and third and all that. But I'm just saying this. To niggas like him, y'all niggas should have thought about that before you, in his case, because I can tell. Because anybody that does this and all that shit for real, in my eyes, it's not in them. Y'all should have thought about that before you made that decision to go official with this shit or turn. Because once you turn and you go official with this shit, there's no turning back. There ain't no none of that shit they talking about. Ain't no none of that shit. That shit to the day you fucking die. You know what I'm saying? So that shit, I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. Like I said, me, Muslim by faith and religion and all that, but my identity and all that is a Crip. West Side, original Harlem Avenue, rolling 30s, dirt gang. Fuck you talking about? These niggas, man, I swear, it's that type of shit right there that just made me want to smack somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you playing with this damn culture and shit. You got niggas that don't forgive and don't forget. Some might forgive, but they definitely not going to forget. Either way, they're never going to fucking forget. So how the fuck you going to say, see, that just reminded me about that. That reminds me of that one, this one Paru, this one, I'm not even going to say this term and all that because, you know, this is a podcast, but that's how I feel about his ass. But this one Paru ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? Me and him been had it since way back in the day. One day, a couple years ago, he talking about, oh, I'm not this and that no more, man. Shut your bitch ass up, nigga. Did you get rebaptized and all that shit? No. Then you still that nigga, especially in my eyes. Fuck out of here with that shit. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. And next time I seen this nigga's all flamed up and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So how the fuck you gonna tell me? You know what I'm saying? It's like niggas like that. It's niggas like that. Smack the shit out of them and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because like you playing. You trying to ease your way out of shit. You playing. Fuck out of here. But now niggas like Cartoon and, you know what I'm saying, them, that's understandable. Shit. Even with my G homies and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But niggas like that one Damu nigga, fuck out of here. That's just my take in it. I'm just keeping it 3100. This is why niggas really need to think about, you know what I'm saying, if they never grew up in this culture or they never been around it or never been exposed to it or never had history with it. If it was never done from back in the day or whatever the case is, or if it doesn't run in the family, this is something that they really need to think about doing before they turn and become official with this shit. This shit is not no fucking game. It's not one day you pick up a flag or whatever saying you this, that, and third, and then next day, couple months, couple years later, you're not that no more. This shit's serious. Let me ask you this. Does your name come off the police list of gang members? And what set you with? Does your name come off that? Registered gang member list? No. Does it come off your record? No. They keep track of that shit until something happens to you. That's the way this shit is. So that's why I'm like, how these niggas, you know what I'm saying, this, that, third, and all that. Now, if you try to get away and start your own life and all that, this, that, and third, okay, that's one thing, but, you know, you're still always going to be what you are and what you represent, and you're always going to be tapped in with your homies, and You know what I'm saying? Even if you're living a legit life. But that whole dropping flag shit, you guys need to get the fuck on with that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all some fucking goofy ass weirdos for that shit. But like I said, I'm just keeping it 3100. Some people don't like the truth. And the next video I'm about to make, it's about time we put this one specific annoying ass disbelief and denial to rest. For real. Because this has been going on too long, too far, you know what I'm saying? It's about time we put that to rest. Anyway, that's it for this video. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head up, thumbs up, sees high. You know what I'm saying? Keep it at 3100, and I'll see y'all in the next video.
You don't know now what's that I claim? I claim 3-0. You ask what I bang? I bang 3-0 with the A in the middle. Avenues, cuz, but I ain't with the riddles. Keeps it 3100, but people not like me. I see the weird shit going on repeatedly. But I'm a go-getter, I goes and gets. Never a lazy ass nigga ambitious with my bets. Cross the line, pay the debt. Even with your life, pay the debt. Gotta pay the toll, that's how life rolls. I seen too many plays solid, but they always fold. Had a beating heart, froze that shit cold. Don't give a fuck, I'm in that fucking mode. Seen one side, but now it's the other side. One slick mouth, that life of yours, bye bye.